I want to discuss with you the meaning of a word which is used very, very commonly by everyone in the world today. That word is stress. I think a layman, uh, what he or she understands of stress is actually different from what stress actually is. Most people believe that if something happens in the environment, it could be related to academics, to jobs, to relationships, to money. They feel that that is stress. The fact of the matter is that these are just events. It is how the individual responds to these events that is what we call stress. So if I am a student, I have exams coming up, I grow up a bit, I have to go for an interview, I'm in a relationship, I'm working, there are problems in the job, I'm driving a car on the road, there is a lot of traffic on the road. All of these things are what we call stressors. How the individual responds to these is what is called stress. Imagine the life of a someone who has no stress in his life. It would be extremely dull, extremely boring, extremely monotonous, because when I say there is no stress, that means there is no stimulation of any kind that the person is experiencing. As opposed to this, imagine the life of someone who is exposed to continuous stressors, or who is responding to a lot of different things with stress, and this cumulative stress eventually causes a lot of wear and tear in the individual's body. It causes breakdown, it causes the exhaustion of the energy that is required to adapt to these stresses, or to adapt to the stress that is being generated inside the body. So we need to define what good stress is and what bad stress is. Good stress is something which can help you to improve your performance. For instance, if I have to write an exam, if I feel that my exams are coming up, it's important for me to do well, and I use that as a motivation to sit down for longer hours, to concentrate better, my performance in the exam would improve. If I have to go for an interview, if I have the same thought, I have the same feelings that there is an interview coming up, I have to do well, I'll get a good job if I can impress the interviewers well, then it would enable me to prepare better for the interview. It would give me greater confidence during the interview, and I would eventually end up securing that job. If I have to run a race, if I have to play a match, there is that stress that I have to do well. These are all examples of what we call good stress or healthy stress. Technically, I call it eustress. But if this stress crosses a threshold, the response inside my body crosses a threshold, it causes a lot of neurochemical changes inside the body, and then it becomes unhealthy stress, which is what we call distress. And it is this distress which is probably going to be the number one killer in this world, I would say, within the next 5 to 10 years. I mean, stress is already playing a huge role in both morbidity and mortality. It's the commonest cause of absenteeism at the workplace. It is estimated that more heart attacks take place at 4 or 5 a.m. on a Monday, when people are coming off a weekend and they dread the start of a new week when they have to rejoin work and so on. So there is more on stress that I would like to discuss in the next few recordings that we put up here.